Oh, got 29% battery. Whatever. I'm talking. And that's my fan going off in the background because fuck, it's suddenly 89 degrees today. So I keep forgetting it because I'm lazy. Anyway, so we are talking about Malignant, the new James Wan movie, and it is such a good, bad, amazing movie. I fucking love it. Before I go on about that, so I still haven't seen Shang-Chi and Candyman, all that stuff, because I haven't gotten a chance to get to the theater and all that stuff, and I'll get to that whenever I can. Still recovering from Dragon Con. I mean, my voice is a lot better. I still have a little bit of a cough, but anyway. Yay. Alright, so, yes, Malignant. So, this movie is literally, like, that niche of movies that I, review, or, I mean, I guess you would say I used to review, because it's been ages since I've done one. Like those, like, early 2000 movies, you know, like, shot on video, low budget. They're always, like, you know, suddenly they're always, like, in an abandoned, like, a hospital wing, because they could just get that one section of the hospital wing. There's always a baby involved. Great, like, decent practical effects. I mean, with this movie, it was good practical effects, because there was a spectral motion worked on it. But, you know, those other movies usually have, like, oh, right, and sometimes I'm like, could have hired me, you know. But, like, this is, like, you took those movies that I watch and I review and I laugh at, you know, but they did it with, like, a good budget, a great director, you know, way better actors, you know, but still the same kind of, like, ridiculous storyline that you're just like, sure. But because you know, the other parts have, like, a higher caliber, this ended up being a good movie. Even though it's not really a good movie, but it's a good movie. Like, I gave it a 4. Like, me and a bunch of other people I follow who, like, kind of understand this kind of, like niche, this kind of, like, this type of movie. A lot of us gave it 4 stars, you know? Some other, like, you know, film cinema people, they're like, 1 star. I laughed at this movie the entire time. It's like, yeah. I feel like if you didn't laugh at this movie, like, I don't think, that I feel like that's the point. Anyway, I'll go into spoilers a little bit, because I actually want people to see this movie. I do really like it. It is ridiculous. Again, it's bad, but it's also good bad. You know, definitely watch it with friends. Again, ridiculous story, line, plot, all that stuff. Like I said, it's like, if you like, Giallo movies, you know, the old, like, Italian movies, you know, like, Argento stuff, you know, like, what's that one, Tenebra, there's, like, that scene in that movie, which I love, when, like, a woman gets, like, her throat cut, and she just sprays, like, like, it's, like, ridiculous, you know, it's, like, stuff that, like, that Tarantino copies a lot, in, like, especially Kill Bill and all that stuff. So that kind of, like, over-the-top, like, ridiculousness, you know, where you're just like, really, man? Yeah, like, that's what we're going with. Again, if you understand, like, the kind of sub-genre and horrors that this movie's kind of, like, taking from and referencing, you'll love it. And again, it's James Wan. I'm gonna be honest, I'm always gonna have James Wan's back, because, like, he's never really done anything that I've, like, hated, you know? And I'm glad this isn't, like another thing where it's, like, somehow tied to the Conjuring universe, because I get it, like, the Conjuring stuff is great, and then, you know, the third one exists, and then Annabelle and stuff exists, but, like, exactly, it's, like, this, like, this is back to, like, Saw James Wan, you know what I mean? This is, like, him understanding horror, him understanding, you know, like, no dumb jump scares, just show you the kind of stuff, and then also, like, I love that this movie kind of, like, it fucks with you with the whole, like, you think there's gonna be a jump scare, and I know there's not gonna be a jump scare because I know James Wan, but it likes to, like, you know, like, have a shot and then take the camera and just kind of turn it for a second. It just kind of goes like that, just so you're like, what's behind? What? Is there gonna be a thing? Is there something gonna be? Nothing happens, because it fucks with you like that. Like, it kind of plays with your knowledge of understanding how horror films work. So you're just like, what was that? Why would you go with those angles? Huh? Why did you? What's up? What's up with that? What's over there? You know, yeah. So my only complaint about this movie is the lead actress's wig. Because I think the lead actor is actually a blonde and she's a brunette in this one, and it's just like there's sometimes where it's fine, you know, it's like hair, it's like laid well, and then other times it's like, you know, when you see someone at a convention and you know they just bought that wig and they just like took it out of the bag and plopped it on their head, and like the back of it does that thing because they didn't fully like pull it back, and like, you know, like, you know, the rubber bands, the bands in the back, so it's tight on their head, you know, they just plop down their head, and then the bangs are kind of like, just there, just, you know, just kind of just there, you know, the back of it just kind of, and it's just like, ooh, can I just help you with that? Like, just give me like 5 minutes and you'll look fine. Like, can please God, I want to help you with that. Anyway, that's my only complaint about this movie. Other than that, it's just like, from the start of it, I was like, alright, I'm with this. But yeah, I guess I'll get into spoilers. 1, 2, 3, spoilers. So, like I said, it's very much like the niche movies. And it's not really niche, it's just like the type of like really shitty early 2000 movies that I always like to talk about. Like I said, abandoned hospital, all that stuff, because the movie starts off in it looks like kind of like an Arkham Asylum kind of like psych wardy kind of shit, and there's so many movies I've fucking reviewed where that happens, you know, where it's like it starts off in a library, like that kind of shit. Like super indie to the point where like I was messaged, like one of the movies I reviewed ages ago, I was messaged by someone messaged me and they were like, yeah, that's my uncle's movie or something, and they're like, yeah, you know the bike in the kitchen, that's my bike. Like, okay, thanks, bro, that's nice bike. Yeah, it's like stuff like that. Again, where it's like abandoned hospital wing, where it's like, oh no, it's a hospital, I gotta run through this hospital wing, like, you know, there's like cops involved, and the cops are like they're smart but they're dumb at the same time, you know, like the lead cop guy is a guy, and then like he's kind of flirty-ish with the main character's sister, and then the cop, like the cop's like the partner is like, bitch, really, you know, like it's like literally all the tropes and cliches, but without making you go, shut the fuck up, you know what I mean? Like, it does it well. Like I've said, like, it's like those movies that I, like, shit on, but, you know, with a better budget, better director, better acting, better effects, better sets, better everything, and it's like I've said this before with those, where it's like, yeah, if you just, like, you know, like, you could do better, and then look what happened. Whatchamacallit, yeah, so this whole thing is about a woman who has a malignant tumor, and how it, like, kind of comes back and does things. Anyway, so the movie pretty much starts off with, like, a doctor being like, it's time to cut out the cancer. And I was like, alright, I'm with this. I love this movie immediately. So, you know, and of course it does one of those, like, fast forward kind of things, and then the woman is like, I was adopted, you know, to her little sister, and she's like, like, literally, like, her eyes are just, like, wide as fuck, and because she has light eyes, so, like, the pupils are, like, crazy dilated, and, like, and she's like, you were adopted? Like, really? You wouldn't have guessed that because you're blonde? And she's, anyway, So the main character woman, the malignant woman, so her husband, abusive as fuck, terrible, he goes, smashes her against the wall, she hits the back of her head, and that, like, triggers everything. So, then you just see, like, this kind of, like, weird wall-crawling grudge kind of fucking thing happening, kills her freaking husband and all that stuff. She ends up having a miscarriage, fucking terrible. Again, all these movies, they also involve, like, a baby and stuff, and then, like, you know, another complaint, I don't know, just for my own taste, would have liked to see a little bit of fetus, but that's just my own weirdness happening. Anyway, so, yeah, so she has a miscarriage, all that stuff. She's had, like, according to the movie, that's like she's had 2 to 3 miscarriages before, which I have to say, I just, as someone who's never gonna have kids, I'm just, maybe stop, you know? Like, you just realize, maybe my body just is not meant for this. And adoption is always an avenue you can go for. But anyway, so, you know, then the woman starts having, like, these weird, like, kind of weird things happening where she'll just be like, I'm doing laundry, and then she sees, like, a doctor getting murdered, or she's like, I'm brushing my teeth, and then this, like, old fat guy gets murdered, and she's like, what's going on, you know? And then you randomly see a woman who gives, like, tours of, like, the underground of old Seattle, and she's kidnapped and, like, strapped to the roof of, like, to the ceiling of some place that you have no idea. You later learn it's her own attic. Also, shows how old I am, because when you see her house, I immediately went, I want that house. I wonder how much that costs. The property tax on it must be, you know, pretty hefty. Oh my god, I don't think I'll ever, you know, move out of this house ever again. I'm watching a horror film, I should not be thinking about property tax. So, you know, that's how old I am, and what I was thinking when I started. I do like her house, and I was like, fuck, I want a house like that. It's not even, like, that great of a house. It's better than what the hell is happening here, you know? But anyway, yeah, so, of course, no surprise, her malignant tumor is doing all the murders. So she is technically doing the murders, but she is unaware of this. And it's funny because I looked it up, the several stunt performers and actors and contortionists they hired, you know, they're moving a lot of backward stuff because the woman, obviously she's in the front, and then the malignant thing's in the back of the head, so it's a lot of, like a lot of uncomfortable, weird, kind of spider kind of things going on, which was great. I thought that was done very well. Anyway, so it's a lot of that, like, you know, things escalating, like, murders and blah, 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 and da. And then it's like, so you're just like, and this movie is also almost 2 hours long, and initially I was like, oh, ooh, you know, but no, it didn't feel like it. It was like, oh, I'm in for this ride of ridiculousness. I'm with this. I am with this shit. And once it hit the third act, which, you know, like, the main character is in a holding cell, and that's, like, the world's largest fucking holding cell I've ever fucking seen. It was, like, the size of, like, it was, like, the size of, like, just, like, the fucking, it was, like, my backyard, like, my front yard. It was, like, it was big, you know? Holding cells are usually just, like, you know, like, just, you know, like, it was a huge-ass fucking room, and I love that the other women in the holding cell were, like, from different decades, you know? You've got, like, the frickin', like, foxy Cleopatra woman with her afro there, like, all 70s decked out, then you got, like, the trucker lesbian with her mullet, you know what I mean? And it was just, like, so fucking ridiculous, like, oh yeah, the gross hookers. It was just like, what year is this? Like, this is literally 1980s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, and the hits of today, you know, all happening in this holding cell. And so, like, you know, something happens, the woman is, like, immensely triggered, and then she, like, goes, ah, pulls it back her head, and then the, like, monster comes out, and comes, like, this crazy fight scene where she's, you know, backwards going, and, like, killing everyone in that fucking holding cell. And it was just funny because it's like, it's so, like, ridiculously strong, too, you know? So, they would just, like, take people's arms, like, ah, bone snap, blood spewing everywhere, like, neck snap. It was just like, she would just, like, the arm would just, like, hit someone like this, and all of a sudden, like, someone else's arm would be like, ah, they'd get thrown back, ah, like, hilarious. And that's, like, also in a police station, which, again, large, like, the freaking holding cell was practically, like, the size of the, like, their office section. And then when she gets out to the office section, it was, like, killing all the cops and all that stuff, and it was, like, and it goes into, like, a weird way of, like, filming, like, you would think this would be in 3D, like, remember when suddenly every movie was in fucking 3D? It was like that, like, the way how, like, the camera, like, rotated around and stuff would just be in, like, camera, like, that kind of stuff. It was just so ridiculous. Then it was just like, oh, the cops are trying to run away, let me grab this chair and fling it, you know, because, again, everything's, like, backwards, and then the cops get hit by a chair. Oh, it's so ridiculous, and I fucking love it. It's so dumb, and I love it. Like, Jesus, you know? and then you learn about the whole thing of like, the woman that they kidnapped who randomly gave like underground tours is actually the girl's, like original birth mother, and that's why she kidnapped her. Because I remember being like, did I miss something? Like, did I blink and like miss why this random woman was kidnapped? Well, other people dying in this. Okay, and then Oh, and then that's also, like, it's a parasitic twin. So when they show, oh my god, the effects of, like, they show, like, this, like, thing in the back of her head, it's like, you know? And they're like, we have to cut out the cancer, And so they said that they removed most of it, so they removed the little raptor arms and like the chest and most of the face, but like, of course, they were saying like, if they were to remove all of it, it would kill her. So like, you literally see them like remove everything, which those scenes were great. The effects for that are amazing. And then whatever extra, they just stuffed it back into her head, put the skull cap back on, and they're like, whatever we could, and like, you literally see them just shove it in. Like when I was packing my luggage, you're like, oh, I'm gonna just shove it in, like, and just zip it closed. Good. It won't burst. Fine, and it was like, thank you, ma'am. It's just so fucking ridiculous. And it was also like, the sister was like, he oh, it has a name, his name is Gabriel, like, how biblical, they're like, he's the reason why you've been having all the miscarriages, because he's been feeding off of the fetuses. First of all, thank you for using fetuses, and I love it. Feeding off the fetuses, and then, like, because, she ends up kind of, like, I guess you would say, in her own sunken place kind of thing, when that thing takes over, and so she watches it, but she can't do anything. She's like, what? Like, and of course, that's when she has, like, mom powers, like, what? My babies! And then she, like takes back over, and it's just like, like, it's just, and it's like, you did it! You beat your own parasitic twin, Oh, it's so dumb! It's so dumb, but I love it! And, like, that's the thing when, like, people talk about horror and they all think, like, everything kind of fits in the same box, but there's so many, like, insane subgenres to horror. It's like, judging this movie on the same caliber as I would judge, like, The Lighthouse? No. Like, if you were gonna be, like, a dumbass and do a one-to-one comparison, of course, Malignant would look fucking ridiculous and be, like, a one-star movie compared to something like The Lighthouse, but they're both great movies, Because they, like, kind of hit that different spot. Like, you got Lighthouse, which is, like, art house, black and white, 4:3 aspect ratio, zibbity-doo-dah-a. Then you have Malignant, which is like, who cares? Throw a kitchen sink at it. Like, fuck it, And that's great. And that's what's great about horror. That's the end of my dissertation, but, was it 8%? Oh, wow. Yeah, so, yes, Malignant. I enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun watching it. I feel like we kind of need, like, good, well-budgeted, like, dumb movies like this, because, like, obviously, again, I really like this. This isn't, like, frustrating, fuck you horror movies like the Bye-Bye Man, like those movies when you watch it and you go, fuck you. Movies that think they're smarter than you kind of horror films, like, no, fuck you. This is good. And again, I will defend James Wan and Lee Winnell. Like, the two of them, I love them since the moment I saw, and I was like, I am with these guys forever. Ride or die, I want them to come back and collab again and do a thing. I don't know what, and I don't care, and I want my boys back, Yeah. This was great. This, again, it was like everything I love in these dumb movies, It was like, oh, Gabriel, like, grabbed the Doctor Award thing and then ended up cutting it and making it into, like, a spear thing to murder people. Like, it's so fucking dumb. Like, what was that? Like, what was that? Like, what was the whole point? Like, Jesus Christ. It's just so stupid. Oh, and I love how the movie ends with, like, you see, like, the mom being like, oh, good. "Ooh, I'm not dead." The sister not being shot and her being fine, and then it just shows like a lamp, and you're like, "Is it gonna flicker? Is it gonna flicker?" We're not gonna show you. We're not gonna let you know if it's gonna flicker or not. It's for you to tell if Gabriel's still there. Like, I mean, like, we know it's gonna be there, but she's overpowered it. I don't know. Watch her, like, she finally has like a baby, and then her kid goes, "Hey, mom," and like actually like hits it, like throws like a plushie at her, and all of a sudden she's like, "Ah!" And all of a sudden she's like, and then it's so dumb. I love it though. I love it. This is top tier movie here. I'm sorry. This is a hitting the best of list. I don't give a shit. This is hitting the best of list. Be mad. It's got the vibes. It's got the shit I like. Oh man, people need to watch this movie. All right, I'm at 5%, and this thing's gonna overheat. All right, bye.